Hey everyone. Hello. Happy Monday. Hello everyone. Gonna be completely honest here. I just found out that my athletic director at Purdue just passed away. So I'm only crying because I really loved this man. My athletic director, Burke, was one of the best humans on the planet. He cared so much about student athletes, and I just found out 15 minutes ago that he passed away of cancer. And I told myself I was going to keep it together because I got a great live set up for you guys today. And I'm gonna hold it together because this is going to be a great episode. And actually, my friend Chris Hawthorne, I texted him about Morgan, and he said, and I was like, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it together and do this. And he was like, Morgan would want you to do this. He would want you to help other athletes right now. And so I'm here to help you guys. Today's going to be about how to pump yourself up before a game. And to be honest, this is like a big game for me right now. It's something that, I'm kind of going to struggle through, but I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to help you guys out because that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I love helping others, just like Morgan did. But something that I had to say to myself before I hopped on here was, I can do this. And I literally, as I was touching the phone, like setting it up, I was like, I can do this. And just like in a game, you have to say that to yourself too. So you're not always going to be in situations that you're ready for, but you don't have a choice, right? Like, I've made a decision that every day, every Monday, I'm going to hang out with you guys, and I'm going to teach you something about softball, and you're going to grow in the game of softball because of it. And so because I've made that commitment to you, I am going to be here to talk to you about visualization and how to pump yourself up. So if you just have to say, I can do this a million times, which I just did before I hopped on live, it helps, okay? It does help. It helps you go. It helps you move forward. And sometimes that's all you need is some self-motivation. So if you can just repeat in your head, just like I did a million times, maybe 1,000, I can do this. I had to believe in myself to make this happen. I think I'm going to end today's live with talking about how great Morgan J. Burke was. For me as a student athlete at Purdue. He was, this is going to sound terrible, but when I'm dating someone who I met at Purdue, he was a golfer. So he was our athletic director for both of us. And in my mind, I was like, he is going to our wedding. He's going to be invited. Whenever we get married, it's going to happen. And knowing that he was taken away from us because of cancer was really hard to take in. And he passed away this morning. But you know what? He is the one who got me into the door today to talk to you still, even though all of me was like, I don't know if I can do this. I had to repeat to myself, I can do this. Okay, so we are going to do this. We are going to talk, even though it's hard for me today, we're going to talk about how you can pump yourself up before a game. First thing that I wrote down that you can do to pump yourself up before a game is pick out a playlist, people. Pick out a playlist that can pump you up. So if you have, let's say, whoever your favorite singer is, I don't know, sometimes Taylor Swift is exactly what I want to hear right now, or One Direction. These are funny bands that they pump me up, right? So it's really key to listen to music that you love. So a lot of people, if you see famous athletes, just like Michael Jordan, they did in the documentary, they put on their headphones and they're just blaring their favorite songs. That is one of the best things that you can do to pump up your mood and get you amped so you can show up at your best. Whatever works for you, pick your playlist and jam to it. I promise you right now, it works. There are days where I have frustrations or I have a tough day and all I want to do is just work out and jam to music. That's my best therapy. So if music is your therapy, pick out your playlist. It's one of the best ways to pump you up before a game. So you can write down what the best version of you looks like. So for example, if you want to show up at your best that day, Going Yard Podcast said Brown Eyed Girl. They are so right. That was my song. They asked me if I competed in the Olympics, what would I want my walk-up song to be? Brown Eyed Girl would be that song. It gives me all the happy vibes. It gets me into my good headspace. That would be my song for sure. So the next one, write down what the best version of you looks like. So what I want you to do is think about this and take some notes if you want to be able to try this out for your next game. Write down what the best version of you looks like in the box. So is she confident? Is she bold? Is she determined? Is she strong? Is she a good teammate? Like all of the things that you want to be, okay, as an athlete, all the things that you want to be, I want you to write those things down on a long list the morning of one of your big games, okay? The morning of one of your big games, because here's the deal. If you can physically write that down and you can get into the headspace of this is who I want to be, this is who I want to show up as in the box today, you're more likely going to be in that headspace when the actual thing happens. And later in this episode, we're going to talk about visualization and how powerful it is to put yourself in the headspace you want to be in. So one of the best ways that you can do that as an athlete is write down what the best version of you looks like in the box. And honestly, if you need to pull out, a video, and I was going to talk about this later, but I'm going to talk about it now. If you need to pull out a video of you competing and you doing like a really, really awesome swing or hitting your first home run, if you have that video documented, do not lose that video. Because here's what visualization is. It's being able to play something in your mind and having yourself repeat it. For example, if you pull out this video and you just hit your first home run, let's throw that out there because a lot of you want to hit your first home run. If you pull out one of the best swings you've ever put on a ball before and you play it, and you play it over and you replay it over and over and over and you just keep watching it again, all of a sudden you're gonna feel your mood is like through the roof because of how excited you are to hopefully do that thing again. Okay, so that's what visualization is. And if you can replay it enough times to where you can close your eyes and then replay that beautiful, powerful, strong swing that you put on that ball, and you just keep replaying it in your head, guess what you have during your routine before you go up to hit? You have that scenario that you can keep replaying in your mind to make that happen. All right? So the more you can repeat it, the more you can play the scenario of one of the most perfect swings that you've ever put on a ball in your head, the more likely you will go and do it when you get to play. Okay? So if you need a little pump me up, if you need a little kick in the butt before you go play a really big game, this is something that I did. I visualized one of the best swings I've ever put on a ball. So if you don't have video of you swinging in the game yet, that's okay. If your parents are there at your games, ask them, can you play or take a video of some of my swings this weekend? Because I guarantee you at least one of those swings is going to be a dang good one. Okay? So your job is to archive that swing and watch it before all your big games, because if that's a swing you want to put in a game, you're more likely going to do it when you can replay it. All right? So that's the second thing that you can do. Write down what the best version of you looks like, and then play and repeat the video of you performing at your best. Because if you want to perform at your best again, you have to put yourself back in those shoes. And that's the best way that you can do it. The next thing that you can do is find your signature routine. Okay? Find your signature routine. So one of my favorite routines that I did before every single game, that was one of my favorite routines of all time, was I put on eye black. Okay? I put on eye black before every game. And if I didn't put on eye black, I'm telling you, I just wasn't in the right headspace. Just straight up. I can look back at those games and I wasn't. So one of the things that pumped me up before a game was putting on the eye black, and not just putting it on. Okay? I had a routine. I put on this big strip of eye black, and what I would do is I'd take my 2 index fingers and I'd strip it down my face, kind of like curved a little bit. Yes, if you saw me after a tournament or after a weekend of playing, I had tan lines of eye black, but it was worth it for me. Okay, so that's just the repercussions of eye black. Sometimes you get some tan lines, but it's totally worth it in my opinion. So one of my favorite things to pump me up was putting on my eye black. Me putting on my eye black was almost like me turning into the superhero I wanted to be on the field. And I know that probably sounds cliche and weird and whatever, but I don't care. That was something that helped me. Okay? So figure out what thing can you add to your routine that's going to help you feel strong and help you feel confident. Because the best version of me was underneath that eye black. So I needed it to perform at my best. That was one thing that I loved to do before, that pumped me up before I played. So one other thing that I wanted to share about how you can pump yourself up for game day, because a lot of you guys are playing right now. I will tell you some positivity that's been thrown at me all week is I've been asking my Smash Tribe group on Facebook, hey guys, have you guys started playing yet? If you have, show me some pictures of you playing. because there's nothing like having this time off and all of a sudden getting the time back with your best friends on the field. I'm so excited for all of you that are playing right now, and those of you that are not playing yet, don't worry, your time is close. Your time is coming. You are so close. So please do not just fall off the wagon and say, you know what, whatever, I don't know when I'm going to play. Your day is coming. Okay, so stay prepared. With that, those are some of the things that you can do to pump yourself up. But the last thing I wanted to share, I talked to my friend Chase Darno, the one who made the video for me inside of the Baseballisms thing, shared my story about Pro League and how it was a tough journey for me. But I want you guys to know that what he shared with me this morning was pretty dang good, and I loved it. I asked him, I was like, hey Chase, so what was something that you did before a big game, or just before playing in general? And this was gold. This is absolute money. If you're taking notes, this is what you're going to want to take notes on. He said he pictured himself doing well. Okay? That's pretty much it. But here's the deal. You can't just picture yourself doing well. You kind of have to like put yourself in those shoes. And so if you were there, ow, I just elbowed the table, for Mind Gym this morning inside of Smash Tribe, that we talked all about this, okay? And by the way, you can sign up, you can go to Smash Tribe on Facebook and be able to watch every single chapter of this episode that we review. But this morning, we talked about visualization and it giving you confidence. So I thought it was so ironic that Chase Darno, who played in the major leagues in baseball, he said that he pictured himself succeeding. And the fact of wanting to do well was what got him ready for game day. For example, if he wanted to play well, if he wanted to, rip a triple, rip a double, get an RBI, whatever it is that he wanted to do, he said that even his decision on what he ate for breakfast that morning had to do with whether that was going to happen for him. So he said he chose a healthy breakfast when he woke up wanting to do well and wanting to play well. Because if he were to eat, and no shame, like low key, I used to go to McDonald's before every single tournament, but if you're going to eat something super greasy and it's going to slow you down, it's going to slow down not just your physical body but also your mind. If you're going to eat something really greasy, like let's say an In-N-Out cheeseburger before a big game, you may not be playing at your best. So that's just a prime example of, Chase said if he wanted to do well, he had to, every single decision that came before that actual game that he was playing went into how he performed. So if he wanted to perform well, he knew he was going to eat a healthy breakfast. And he knew he was going to take care of his body, maybe get a little sweat in before the game, because that was going to help him perform well. All right? So Chase said him wanting to do well and him dreaming of himself doing well against XYZ opponent and just kind of putting himself in those shoes is what allowed him to make decisions based on how he was going to play well. And a lot of times it worked for him. It worked for him. If he said, you know what, I see myself launching a double, like a hard line drive today, and he envisions it, just like we talked about visualization, he's talking about how he wants to make that happen. If he visualizes that in the morning, he's more likely going to make that happen. So how cool is it that your thoughts can actually take over what your actions are later? It's so true and it's so real. If you want to perform well, you have to envision yourself performing well, just like Chase said. Okay, so back to it. These are the things that'll pump you up before a game, and I'm just going to repeat them. 1, have a favorite playlist, and you better put that playlist on loud before you play. Put your headphones on, really get in the zone, play that playlist loud. P.S. If you're a part of my Goal Smasher course, the course that I have for you guys, inside it I also have a link to one of my favorite playlists that I love to play. So if you are a member of the Goal Smasher course, or if you want more information on it, send me a DM, because you guys have access to that playlist, and it's one of my favorites. So that's just a fun fact. 2nd, write down what the best version of you looks like. All right? So whatever the best version of you looks like in the box, bold, confident, fierce, whatever it is you want to be, write down all of those things. What does she look like? What does the best version of you look like? Write down all of those things, and you'll likely get into the headspace of that human being who's about to take the field. All right? Remind yourself of that. Parents, if you guys are on here and you have athletes, remind them to do this and ask and see what they wrote down. If she wrote down, I want to be a good teammate today, and you witness your athlete not being a good teammate, that's where you can jump in and be like, hey, you're not being a good teammate, and you said you were going to do that today. Hold her accountable. And you athletes, hold yourselves accountable to being all of those things. Confident, strong, a good teammate, determined, whatever it is you want to be, write it down and you will likely make that happen. Okay, awesome. So the next one, have a signature routine. Okay, whatever your routine is, you have to stick to it every single day, because I'm telling you, the days where I didn't do my routine of putting on eye black, I didn't play well. Okay, and I'm not superstitious. But what I am is, why I love the eye black is because it makes me feel fierce. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel like a tiger. My favorite animal of all time is a tiger. So if I could look like a tiger, I'm gonna feel like a tiger. So call me crazy, that stuff works. So have a routine and stick to that routine. Lastly, actually 2 more, but kind of together. Visualization. Visualize yourself succeeding. You will likely succeed. All right? So imagine, maybe do this practice with me right now. You athletes or even parents, visualize your athlete doing this. Close your eyes for a good second. Listen to me talking while you close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes. Think about the best at bat that you've ever had in your entire life. What were you? Were you calm? Were you focusing on your breathing? Were you focusing on the pitcher's hip? Keeping your focal point on one thing? Can you see yourself driving a line drive to score your runner at second? Can you see yourself smashing a ball right over second baseman's head and getting a double out of it? Can you see yourself getting a hold of a pitch because you went 100% at this pitch and launched it into the outfield? All right, open your eyes. If you could see yourself doing that, you can make that happen, and you probably have likely made that happen in the past. So you reminding yourself of what that looks like, what that feels like, you reminding yourself of that feeling will likely recreate that feeling for you. So if you think this is hoopla, don't call it hoopla until you try it, okay? Fun fact, they don't write books about things that don't work, okay? This book actually talked about visualization today. So you have to visualize yourself doing well. Just like Chase said, you have to want to do well in order to do well. So having the want, having the visualization, seeing yourself succeeding is what's going to make that happen for you. All right, so that's today's live. That's all I had to talk about. Again, thank you so much for bearing with me through my tears. And I do want to do this, and this is so impromptu, but I think the reason why I'm so emotional and I'm so upset about learning about my athletic director passing away is because he cared so much about his student athletes. Like, I could not be more proud to be a Boilermaker today. I loved my athletic director. He's probably actually the reason why my boyfriend and I started dating 6+ years ago. Because he and I actually sat down on the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. And on that committee are athletes who represent your school at the Big Ten level. And Morgan was always pushing us to do this. Morgan was always like, you guys need to do this. You guys need to do this. You guys are leaders at this school. And he would always talk about how great I played. Like, he came to, like, at least when we were in season, he came to a game a week, at least. He was always at games. And after the game, like, he was super honest with us. He was like, dude, like, what was up today? Like, days I didn't get a hit, he'd be like, what was up today? I'd be like, you know what? And I would just talk to him about it. And he was like an open book. And on days where I succeeded, he was the first high five when I got out of the dugout. He was the first high five when I signed to play pro. Like, he was always there for me. And the fact that he has passed away is like, I don't even know. I don't have thoughts yet because I just found this out like a half hour ago. But strive, like, in my mind, him passing now makes me want to be just like him. Like, I want to be just like Morgan. I want to be there for every single athlete that I work with and let them know that I am always there for them. He was so selfless, and he was determined, and he was on his mind. He had no doubt in his mind that every single team that he was going to lead was going to work for a national championship. And, like, he was like, I will do anything to help you get that national championship. And no, like, when I was there, we did not win a national title. But he had us always thinking about it. How can we be better? How can we be better in life? How can we be better athletes? How can we be better leaders? How can we leave this school better than when we walked into it? How can we lead whoever we're leading post-college? How can we be leaders in the world outside of Purdue University? He helped remind me of that. And honestly, I'm really glad that my friend Chris told me, he's like, even though you don't want to do your live, which honestly I didn't. I was not in a good place. I was bawling my eyes out 5 minutes before we went live today, but he was the reason why I hopped on this live. Like, my friend Chris was like, you know what, Morgan would want you to get on that live and teach and preach softball. And I was like, you're right, he would. And of course I'm wearing my Purdue golf hat because Morgan loved golf. Loved golf. But man, I think this world needs more of Morgan Burks, and I'm going to do my best to try to make him proud with, you know, Ashley Workhart Training and everything and beyond. Mia, thank you so much for sending love from Clintonville Chaos. Thank you so much. That means so much. With that, thank you for bearing with me and my tears, but you guys are all incredible. By the way, have to make this known. I will be starting in-person lessons very, very soon. Okay, and if you are interested in that, send me a DM on Instagram or DM on Facebook, and you will be the first to know all the details with in-person lessons. If you are interested in virtual lessons, I still will be giving those out because I have athletes all over the country that I give lessons to. So if you are interested in those, send me a DM. I'll give you all the information you need. But I just wanted to make you guys know that because in-person lessons are coming back, and I'm excited. I miss you guys so much. I'm excited to work with you guys again. If this is something that moved you or you felt like it helped you, please do me a favor and share this with your teammates, with your tribe, whoever it is in the softball game that you love. Please share this with them on Instagram. Maybe take a screenshot and post it on your Facebook story. Tag me so I can see you posting it. I would love if you did that. That's all I got today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for handling my tears, and I will see you guys next week.